Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I am extremely happy because I am going to test out the new Makeup Revolution palette which came in collaboration with Emily Noel 83 here on YouTube. So Emily is one of those YouTubers who have been here since the beginning of YouTube days. And I remember watching, she was like one of the very few people that I used to watch back in the day. I think it was in 2009 or 2010. I used to watch Emily Noel, Michelle Phan, and then a couple of others who are not around anymore on YouTube, of course. So basically the name of a collaboration is Emily Edit because Emily was a news reporter, and so that's where the name comes from. So the Emily Edit has two palettes. One is the Needs and one is the Wants. The Needs is a pretty cute palette, but it was out of stock when I wanted to buy it. So I just went ahead and got the Wants palette. So this is the palette that Emily came up with Makeup Revolution. As you can see, this is a very pretty palette. I love it. It has 24 shades. It is a huge palette. Once you open it, it has this massive mirror. Just look at that mirror. Oh my god. So these are the 24 shades that are available in the palette, and all these shades are named after something that is extremely meaningful to her, and it's really nice to know that I know the meaning of every shade and why she named it, so on and so forth. So it is just so nice to see somebody that you actually look up to, and you know, they come up with something that you adore as well. So as soon as this palette launched, I made my order and I got a couple of more things from Makeup Revolution which I will try in another video. So if you're interested to see how I created this look, then please keep on watching. So I'm basically planning to do a green look on myself. So maybe I will use Corduroy, Dark and Early, Grateful and Side Hustle. Also maybe Hobby in my crease. So let's just begin the video. So now I'm taking Hobby from the palette and using Morphe M504, and I will just add that color in my crease. Now that I have my transition shade on, I will go in the shade Corduroy and use a Morphe M433 brush. I will place the shadow right in the outer third of my eye. Now that I have very minimum product on my brush, I will push and take the product into my crease. So now I will go in with the shade Side Hustle and use it on the middle of my eyes. So when Emily was explaining about the palette, she also said that while using these shades, if you pat it, it is not going to give you the best results. So you need to swipe the shade on your eyelids. So that's what I'm doing. Wow, this green has beautiful golden reflex in it. This is just so pretty. So I'm going to use the shade Dew Spade in my crease to blend the eyeshadow and also give it some dimension. I think these two shades are pretty good, well blended. Now I will go ahead and add some more of the green as well as the other shadow that I used. Because whenever you blend any eyeshadows, you are always going to lose the intensity of the shadow. So you actually really have to go back and forth with the shadows to make sure that it is opaque and, you know, it looks good enough for you. And now that I have to soften the edges, I will just turn the brush this way . I'm going back in the shade Side Hustle. Do you see how it just intensified the shade so much more when used wet? This is so pretty. So I'm going to use the shade right here, which is called Grateful. Do you see how bright the shade is without making it wet? And now just kind of pat it so that the two colors blend in well. So I'm going to now use an Eco Tools accent brush and go in the shade Corduroy. Dip very lightly, tap off the excess and just carve out the edges. I will go back into Grateful and Side Hustle and just intensify the shades much more. I'm going back in Dew Spade because this is what happens usually when I'm doing my makeup. I keep on going back and forth in different shadows and intensifying it, blending it. Going back in Corduroy. So now I'm going to leave it alone. So now I'm going to deepen the outer corners with the shade Dark and Early, which is right here. So I'm just going to take a very small amount because I want to build this color slowly and not like, you know, get overwhelmed and then I'm not able to fix it. I don't want to take it into my crease or, you know, anything like that. I'll just keep it right here so that it just deepens the outer corner. And just staying in the same place. almost kind of stamping the shade into the outer, what do people call outer third, outer fourth, whatever, this part of my eye. I'll go back in corduroy. I'm using the shade Midwest and sweeping it all across my lower lash line. I'm going to take the shade Corduroy and focus it mainly on the outer part of my lower lash line. I'm stamping this shade very close to my lash line. Now I'll take the side where I can blend the eyeshadow and dip it in Dew Spade and try to blend the shade. I'm just going to take Corduroy and use it on the entirety of my lower lash line because I don't really like shimmer shades on my lower lash. Now I'm going to take my Eco Tools liner smudge brush. This is a very tiny, very cute brush, as you can see, and this is perfect for smudging. This is why I got the entire Eco Tool set, because this is the brush that I wanted and I could not find it single and I saw it in a set, so I just got the entire set. This is just so perfect for the lower lash line to smudge out eyeshadows. First and foremost, I don't wear hairbands because my head is so freaking sensitive, or what do you call it, weak, that whenever I have any bands on my head, it just kind of, squishes my head and it hurts a lot. So I choose not to wear hairbands. But I also notice that my hair is always on my face when I'm trying to do my makeup. And that's that. So now I'm going to use the shade Oh Heavens on my inner corner as well as my brow bone highlight. So I just used some NYX Epic Ink Liner and drew a small wing, as well as used my Wonder Beauty mascara on my eyelashes. Now I will go ahead and do my bronzer, which I had done but it was pretty light, so I will just redo it, as well as my blush. So for bronzer I had used my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer in medium dark with my Wet n Wild contour brush. So for blush, I am going to use my Milani powder blush in the shade 8, which is Tea Rose. And this is a very pretty, almost muted pink. And let me see if it is. Even though this blush seems like very pale in the pan, but it does show up even on tan skin like mine. But this is a very soft blush, you can definitely build it up. I always like to sweep my blush on top of my nose, on my chin, on my forehead, basically everywhere. Blush is my favorite part of makeup. It just makes you feel so much alive once you have blush on your face. So now that I have my blush on, I will just jump onto my lips. So for lips, I'm going to try this Maybelline matte ink in the shade Amazonian. Okay, so in person it looks way more brown with like a hint of pink, but I like it. It looks good. Now I will go ahead and line my lips. Now I know people usually line their lips and then fill in with a lipstick, but I've always done it the opposite way. I first like to fill in my lips and then line accordingly. So what I like to do is, I usually like to use like a coffee brown lip liner. So I will just lightly trace the line of my lip and just overline it just a tiny bit near my Cupid's bow. So I will just go a tiny bit below my actual lip line, just here, and then just go back into my lip line, if that makes any sense, and then just shade the outer edges of my lips. So this brush is what I used for my lips, just to, you know, soften the edges and stuff like that. But I got this brush with my Maybelline eyeliner. Back in the day when I used to use my Maybelline eyeliner, I used to use this brush to actually do my, you know, just wing my eyeliner and stuff like that. But now I wonder, how did I do it? This is the shape of the brush. How the hell did I manage? So once you use a facial setting spray and then, you know, pat your face with some sponge, it is going to look way more natural. Even though of course it's makeup, it's not going to look natural, but it will look more settled because the powders won't be visible on your face. So that gives you a very nice and also kind of a dewy look, which I like, even though I am oily and I am dewy all the time. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also turn on the notification bell so you will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.